For the month of December, we have the pleasure of honoring Armand J. Marion, who served in the U.S. Navy.
Having served during World War II, he was one of the many whose sense of duty was born without question. May we continue to be inspired by his unfailing attention to detail, maintaining the heart of the USS Var as she and her sailors earned their place in history.
When you measure someone's life, it's not the titles that you collect, it's not the medals on your chest. It's the people around you. It's the impression that you leave for 50 years later and you have people talking about you. And I know it was only around the corner when he passed away at 96. And to live a long life and a distinguished life says a lot about your father and your grandfather.
So many of our veterans return and develop a life and a career, and oftentimes driven by the skills that they had learned in service to this nation. In this case, he took those machinist skills and was able to create a career and a life and raise a family and maintain a home through work at GE and Knowles.
A skill is learned serving our country, coming back and apply it to a long storied career and making a difference in the community. It's what America's all about.
And when he came back from serving the country and was awarded with many recognitions for his service, did a lot of things in the community, very good role model and supporter of the Boy Scouts.
When he passed a few years ago, in my eulogy to him, I noted that there were several times over the course of his life that my dad should have passed away, and it didn't happen. You mentioned that he was born in 1918. His mother actually had the Spanish flu while she was pregnant with him. She shouldn't have lived, neither should have my father, but thankfully that happened. He was run over by a car when he was about 8 years old, was in the hospital for many months in Cohoes, and probably that should have taken his life. But there were several instances also during the time that he was in the military when his life also could have been lost. His ship was torpedoed in the Atlantic, and luckily that day he was on a work unit in the front of the ship, and it was the back of the ship that was hit, and there were many men that were lost on that ship that day. He could have died the day he dove overboard to try to save someone else who had an issue and was being taken under. He was being electrocuted, actually, and my dad dove overboard to try to save him. And that could have also been an uneasy experience for him, and he might not have returned from that. And then there was another occasion when his ship was deployed and he was on a work unit where a few days after they dropped the bomb in Nagasaki, he was asked to be on the ground unit to go in to take measurements for the destruction on the buildings. And when you think about the exposure to radiation, what we didn't know about it back then, certainly that could have been a very negative experience for him at that time or in the years to follow. But I think God had a better plan for him, and it was one for him to come back, as you say, and to have a family, and to be of service to his community, and to be a role model.
He would do anything for his immediate family, his extended family, his friends, and his neighbors. From a machinist mate first class in the Navy to a tool maker at the Knowles Atomic Power Lab, he learned to fix just about anything, from engines on a destroyer to the neighbor's car and lawnmower. Over his 96 years, our father built a family bound in love, closeness, and warmth.